Well, congratulations, Quinn Bruch, on an outstanding senior year. Talk a little bit about what does it mean to you to finish your senior year representing Sturgis Brown High School at the state meet?
It means a lot. I've been representing Sturgis for 7 years now, starting my 6th grade year with cross country when my mom was the coach, and then almost considering not doing cross country in high school from going from 8th grade year to freshman year. So I'm just proud of myself for being representative of a scooper for 7 years during cross country, and I also played soccer a little bit during high school, so I'm just super happy that I could finish out my career as a scooper.
Quinn, talk a little bit about one moment or memory for the season that's going to stick with you for life.
I had a really great time at the conference meet with my teammates. I placed 3rd place individually, so it was one of my highlights of the season. But I think that training with my team and being able to compete with my team during the season was the best part of the whole thing.
Quinn, talk a little bit about how it feels to run alongside so many younger runners and those coming up as scoopers.
It means a lot to me to be a leader because I can show these guys what it means to work hard and what it means to achieve their goals. And hopefully I can just be a positive example for them and a role model so that maybe they can have a role model when they want to be a senior like me during cross country so they can achieve their goals better.
Very good, Quinn. What has running cross country taught you about teamwork, perseverance, and or yourself?
It's taught me a lot about perseverance and dedication. You got to work hard for the things that you want to do, and the only way to achieve your goals is if you can work at them. And if you can show up every day, if you can give your all every day, that's how you're going to achieve your goals.
Congratulations, Quinn, on a fantastic cross-country season. We're definitely going to miss you next year, and best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
Iris Zylstra, congratulations on a great cross-country season. Iris, what does it mean to you to finish your senior year representing Sturgis Brown High School at the state meet?
Well, I started running cross country in 7th grade. I got pulled up by the high school, and so this is my 6th state meet. So it was definitely a bittersweet moment with everything I've accomplished, but it was also sad because it's the end of my running career.
Yeah. Iris, talk a little bit about one moment or a memory from the season that's really going to stick with you for the rest of your life.
I'm just really going to remember all the team bonding that we had on the way to state this year. We had a karaoke playlist. We had card games the night before. It was definitely just a very positive atmosphere.
That's great. Iris, how does it feel competing alongside so many younger runners? I know you had a 7th grader running with you at the state meet, and seeing that next generation develop. What's that mean to you?
It's really exciting because I started when I was that young. It's hard to believe I was that small,
Yep.
But no, it's really exciting. They're very talented, and I hope that they can just continue to improve.
Very good. Iris, talk a little bit about what running cross country has taught you, maybe about teamwork or perseverance or yourself.
Well, running isn't always a fun sport, so it's definitely taught me that not everything in life is fun. Some stuff's really hard, but as long as you keep on pushing through it, it'll get better eventually.
Very good. Last question, what's next for you after graduation? I think you've got some plans to further your athletic career.
I'll be attending Gillette College in Wyoming and playing soccer and getting a pre-engineering degree, so that's exciting.
Very good, Iris. Well, once again, congratulations on your running as a cross-country runner here for the Sturgis Scoopers, and we're sure going to miss you next year. Best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
Kale Fenner, congratulations on a great cross-country season. And what does it mean to you to finish your senior season representing Sturgis Brown at the state meet?
Well, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, I've been doing it for my whole life, it feels like. So, it felt really good to be able to finally compete and give it that last push. And I felt like I gave it my all. And it was such a surreal moment, finishing and finally coming back to camp and just seeing everybody and their faces are drained, but you can tell that they're all proud. It was a very exciting moment, to say the least.
Very good. Kale, talk about one moment or a memory from this season that's going to stick with you for your life.
That's hard to pick. I mean, after every meet, there's always the people bringing together and everybody's cheering everybody on. I mean, even in rapid, you go and you finish, and there's people from other teams that are there just slap you on the back and tell you that you did a good job. It's very well adjusted altogether.
Very good. Kale, how does it feel competing alongside so many younger runners? We had a lot of freshmen this year and sophomores. And what do you see in the next generation developing?
Well, I mean, I remember when I was like a freshman, joining high school running for the first time. I had so many great runners where I was like, wow, I couldn't even imagine being like that. And then over time, it's just builds up and builds up. So, I mean, if they can do anything like I did, they'll be doing pretty well by their senior year.
Very good. Kale, what has running cross country taught you about teamwork, perseverance, or yourself?
Well, everybody says cross country is one of those sports where you really have to have a lot of dedication and you have to be like strong-willed. So if it taught me anything, it's to be able to stick through something, to be able to see the finished product and be able to feel good about what you accomplished.
Well, it's been fun watching you for the past 4 years, Kale, and congratulations, a great season, and we look forward to what your future brings.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Lucy Hamer, on an outstanding senior cross-country season. What does it mean to you to actually finish your senior season representing Sturgis Brown at the state meet?
It's a sad moment just because this has been the first sport that I've participated in for like school, and now I'm going to be leaving it possibly, but who knows, maybe the future it'll come back, but I'm just happy that I got to participate in this sport.
Very good. Lucy, talk about one moment or memory from this season that's going to stick with you for life.
Probably just like all the bus rides and all the times that we bonded as a team. Definitely the meets. We really just like bond over the meets and just, share all the memories of the course.
Okay. Lucy, how does it feel competing alongside so many younger runners, some of the runners as young as 7th grade, and you're seeing that next generation develop? How does that feel?
It's honestly inspiring. There's so much potential, and you just keep seeing them get faster and faster. And I honestly see myself like them. Like I was just like a little middle schooler, and I have high hopes for them, and they should be proud of everything.
Lucy, what has cross country taught you? Maybe a little about teamwork, perseverance, or taught you about yourself?
I've just learned that you are more than just like, you can do more you can put your mind to what you want to, and that you can just push through all the hard things. And it's all like mental, so you can push through the hard things.
Lucy, what are your plans for after graduation? And do you plan to continue running and stay involved in sports?
I'm still undecided yet. I hope to maybe compete in the future, but we'll see.
Congratulations on an outstanding season, Lucy. It's been fun to watch you for the past 4 years, and best of luck to you in your future.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Coach Blake Proefrock, 11th year as the Sturgis Brown High School cross-country coach, and congratulations on the 2025 season. Looking back on the season, how did your team measure up against the preseason goals, especially in terms of team chemistry or senior leadership?
Yeah, I think like success can be measured in different ways. Obviously, we had a little bit, like a smaller team, especially on the boys' side, and especially experience. It's one thing to have numbers; it's another to have kind of some experience and things like that. But I think our preseason goals, and things we wanted to do were to compete at the conference level, and always try to do the best we can, at state. In years past, we've had, some depth where we kind of thought, realistically going into the season that we were going to be in, that top half, things of that nature. And definitely both the boys and girls teams have proven that the last, 5 or 6 years or something like that, where they've, been on the podium on the boys' side and the girls have been just, points off, from getting on there. And so, kind of where we were this year was, it was a situation where if everything goes perfect, we'll see what we have and what we could do. I thought going into, conference, the way things, were, with as strong as the conference was, I thought, we competed really well, at third on both, with kind of, what we had and where we had it, with some injuries and things like that. I thought that we competed well there, and then we ended up going to state and, placing where we did, I think was a little tough, because what kids wanted to, really wanted to accomplish. But, I don't know necessarily that, of course some kids, maybe didn't, here and there compete as well as they wanted to. I don't think that we competed that far off of, season best, personal best. We saw that, with a lot of the kids there. It's just one of those things where, when we're not that deep, and more teams, then I think sometimes we kind of forget that, we went from, 16 and then it's 17 and then, now it's a 19 and 20 teams, competing. You had T and you had Jefferson and you had all these teams. Well, there's more and more kids, and quite honestly, we had a few kids run and a few girls run times that when they were there, the last time they were in Huron, they were state medalists with the time they ran, and now they're not, and so it's kind of just showing up as to the, depth of the state.
Blake, what do you see from your underclassmen that gives you a lot of optimism heading into next season?
Well, one thing I think is just in general, just about cross-country kids, is you really do know what you're going to get out of them. They're intrinsically motivated. The work ethics through the roof. There are a lot of times, right there, they're the kids that, they're going to be, and we'll see here shortly, but I know they are like academic all-state kids, all the seniors, and that's just what they are. So a lot of times, that's what's coming with these young kids, even though you don't know them super well, you maybe yet, or, and some obviously you do, but like that's just what they're going to bring, and they see it. But you've done interviews with all these other kids, and they set the foundation. They blaze the trail, and they do such a nice job at taking these younger kids in and bringing them along, and the stuff that they do. You see, 3 years later, 5 years later, 6 years later, like as we progress, and now 11 years later, like they're doing a lot of the same things, having a lot of the same traditions, a lot of the same, a lot of the just all the same things, and so that bodes well for us.
Yeah. Injuries are always a part of any sport. Senior Taylor Kalunga won the Spearfish Northern Hills Invite in 1624 and ended up injured right at the end of the race. Talk a little bit about Taylor and our loss.
Yeah, that was a huge one. It's really unfortunate for him, obviously, without a doubt. It's unfortunate for the team, and the team as a whole, and it, it's kind of a, punch in the gut when, hey, maybe, like we're looking at maybe doing this, conference-wise, or this, maybe state-wise, especially when you can have, a couple really strong front runners, and things like that. Well, there's more to just losing, that person or the time that person would run. You also lose, that competition in practice, and you lose the, what he brings in practice. We all smile because we know, we know what Taylor brings, and just kind of the levity that he brings, in practice, and the fun, and so that was just a bigger loss than just 1624, the second meet of the year, which who knows what that was going to turn into, because everybody, it might be awesome, it might not be, but like obviously it was definitely trending in the right direction, as was everybody in the team, and kind of seeing what that was maybe going to do, and so that just hurt, and it hurt, for him, because he really kind of put a lot into it, but a lot of kids have, and I think that just hurt.
With the boys and girls both represented at state, what stood out to you most about the performance in Huron? Our top boy was Quinn Bruch in 1659, and Lucy Hamer was a top female. Talk about what stood out to you most about their performances in Huron.
I just think it was, just the grit. It might not have been perfect, for either one of them or a lot of the kids. The weather was a little tough, like maybe it wasn't what, necessarily anticipated, but more about just the kids. It's kind of, they kind of, you ultimately know going into it, maybe kind of where we're at as a team, kind of what, what's going in. And it's just the grit and determination that they have to be good leaders, to continue to be, to lead the program, to lead the younger kids, to lead the, not even necessarily totally younger, but also just inexperienced kids and for the first time and the first go. And so, I thought they did that. I thought they did that tremendously well, represented us really well. Maybe they, want to do better individually, want to do better as a team. But they've proven that throughout their careers, what they're going to do, what they're going to continue to do. Led them all the way through to, the ride home, the things afterwards, what to look forward to circling the track, in the spring and things like that. So, and what to do in the off season. So they just kind of approached it the right way, and I think afterwards did the same. So we're going to really miss them, miss a lot of those seniors, obviously.
Which leads me to the question about talking about losing 5 of your senior runners that were your leaders, Quinn and Kale on the boys' side, and Iris, Lucy, and Trinity on the girls' side. So we're losing 5 of your experienced runners. Talk about them and replacing them.
Yeah, it's they're kind of, it's irreplaceable. I mean, really, like to lose that many and that much experience. You talk about Iris and Lucy. That's 11 seasons of cross country, much less. Obviously what they do in track, but that's I think Iris was a 7th grader and Lucy was an 8th grader. So that's when they started and running full time, and man, that's a lot of years. And then obviously the boys and the experience and losing. It's not just the years of experience, but it's how well they did and how they're on teams that placed, runner up at state and 4th at state, and in what it means to be a team and fill out the team, and it's really kind of irreplaceable. And then obviously Taylor was going to be that too, and just it's a lot to lose. It's and it's going to take a while to kind of build it back up, and we kind of saw that a little bit. Last year we didn't lose at maybe quite as many, but we lost. The quality that we lost, was tremendous, a tremendous amount. And so we kind of felt that this year a little bit, but now going into next year, it's, just going to build for the future, hopefully.
Blake, talk a little bit about after 11 seasons leading the Sturgis Scoopers cross-country team, what continues to motivate you as a coach?
Well, quite honestly, the way, just kind of the makeup of the team, this year, and what it's going to look like next year, and just kind of rebuilding. Because honestly, 11 years ago when I started, it was, Coach Peterson, he left a great culture, but the team was really small. It was really, a lot of kids had left, just graduated, and that's just kind of where it was at the time. And kind of built it back and had really competitive girls teams and obviously boys teams that were on the podium, 3 different times and really close, another. And now here we are again. It's kind of start over and rebuild, and that's kind of the challenge in it, I think. And kind of looking forward to it. Obviously, we have some young kids and that really competed well. They competed well, at the conference. They competed well at state. They got great attitudes, and so. And that's where we go, and we don't have a whole lot of seniors next year, just a couple, and so they're going to have to really take on and shoulder a lot of the leadership. But we got a lot of kids coming, and so that'll be fun.
Well, congratulations, Blake. The 11th season now in the books, and a good season. So congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you next year.
Appreciate it. Thanks for everything you guys do.